Coming up, Dave and the crew introduce car audio mega systems that'll blow you away. Quality truck accessories, an easier plan for working under your vehicle, and ways to make your vehicle last longer and look better. Next on Motorhead Garage, presented by NHOU Protective Coatings.
Motorhead Garage, the program that each week introduces you to and shows you how to install the latest in exciting and innovative products for your vehicle. Motorhead Garage is presented by NHOU Protective Coatings. Now here's your host, Dave Dobson.
Welcome to another edition of Motorhead Garage presented by NHOU Protective Coatings. This week on the show, we are talking sound, and we are talking big sound, as you can see, brought to us by our friends at Sundown Audio. Brian, you're at Sundown, and you've been there for a while.
Yep.
How long have you guys been at this as a company?
The company started back in 2006, just in Jacob Fuller, who's the owner. It started in his parents' basement, actually.
This build is amazing. Is this typical of a build we're going to see with Sundown?
This is a little over the top of typical. This is an extreme version of what we can show off our products with.
Tell me about your products. What kind of range do you cover?
We cover everything. We started off just with more or less the extreme audio enthusiast type of equipment. Bass head community is what we call it, with big subwoofers, big amplifiers, but we've blossomed to doing, car door speakers and small amplifiers, budget series stuff. We also cater towards sound quality enthusiasts and the big competition guys too.
Competition folks.
Mm-hmm.
How are those folks doing at the competitions with your equipment?
When it comes to the competition guys, if you were to look at the leaderboards, our name is on top almost every year.
How did the company get that way? How did Sundown Audio become what it is, this bass giant?
Throughout the years, just through research and development, Jacob Fuller, the owner, he's extremely good. Even though he's the owner, he's also the lead research and development guy. We get a lot of feedback from our clients and our dealers and the people that use our products to figure out how to make our products better every year.
You've told me about the family environment at Sundown Audio. How does that affect how you guys do things?
Because we're all friends and family, we care deeply about the products that we sell to our dealers and customers.
And is everything designed there in-house in North Carolina?
It sure is, yeah. It's in Newton, North Carolina. It's just a small town.
All right, thanks, Brian. Here's another member of the Sundown Audio family. Derek, you're the R&D person. What are some of the things you consider when you're developing a speaker like this?
So we'll make a prototype. The prototype will come to me in our testing room. And in a subwoofer like this, I'm gonna test everything from its thermal capability to its mechanical capability. We're gonna check out the sound. I'm gonna test it free air in an enclosure. And then once we're kind of happy with how things are going, I like to take all the product and I push them to their utmost ability. So I try and push everything to failure. So we either find that failure point and improve on it, or we find that it's not gonna fail and we know we got a good product for the customer.
I do the same thing with cars. I drive until they fail. Well, how long does the process take from when you get the initial product to you're actually being happy with it?
It could be something, we get our initial prototype, I test it, we're happy immediately, or we're gonna go through several revisions, and it could potentially be 6 to 8 months before we get something we're happy with.
Gotcha. And this is an extreme version of something you guys make,
yes.
And you're famous for that, but maybe more typical would be a woofer like that?
Yes, we got our big bass subwoofers, but we also have something that's better for the daily driver guys. So you want something simple, just adding a little bass to your trunk or whatever. We got subwoofers like this that kind of for everyday people.
And everyday people are going to like these too. If you're not a bass person, this might be for you as well.
Yep, so if you're not looking to add a ton of bass, we have coaxials, we have speakers, tweeters, we have kind of something to have everybody covered.
And you've got everybody covered with everything they need, including amplifiers there.
Yep, so again, with the small subwoofers, we have the small amplifiers match up with them. If you want the big bass and the big subwoofers, we got our big amplifiers to go with that, and that's what you're gonna see in the vehicle behind us.
Yeah, this vehicle behind us has 3 of these, if you can believe it, and 6 speakers like this back there. You will not believe the way this thing sounds. We're gonna take a look at that when we come back, so you do not wanna miss it. In the meantime, run to the web, check them out at sundownaudio.com. We'll be right back with this vehicle blowing us away right after this on Motorhead Garage, presented by NHOU Protective Coatings.
Motorhead Garage, presented by NHOU Protective Coatings, is brought to you by RockAuto.com. All the parts your car will ever need. Magic Creeper, the most versatile creeper ever. The Last Coat, cleans, shines, and protects. And by NH Oil Undercoating, the official oil-based rust prevention system.
Welcome back to Motorhead Garage, presented by NHOU Protective Coatings. Now, last segment, we showed you what's inside this Chevy Tahoe. Unbelievable equipment from Sundown Audio, and we said we were going to blow you away. I know I'm going to get blown away later. I haven't heard this thing yet, but you build this at Jakar Audio here, Daniel. You're down in Texas, all using equipment from Sundown Audio.
Yes, sir.
Tell me how you've outfitted this vehicle.
It's got 3 of the Sundown Audio Salt 8Ks. You're looking at better 30,000 watts.
Why do we need this much power?
Well, everything's extreme, and guys want to go bigger and better all the time. So you got to just keep raising the bar. This is powering 6 of the Sundown Audio Nightshade V3 15s, and they require a lot of power to do what's expected of them. So.
And this battery down here? It's like
yes, lithium battery powering that, and then there's alternators under the hood. There's 4 of them that are powering, make sure the amps have everything they need.
4 alternators?
Yes, sir.
Is that typical of a build like this?
Yes, sir.
And we need all this power because of what's inside. Let's talk about the speakers now. Just from where the driver sits, 16 speakers is what I counted?
Yes, yes. To keep up with the bass, you need to be able to hear the vocals, you know. So once it's so loud from the extreme, there's 30,000 watts capable, so you need that on the other end of it to be able to hear the words. So.
And that's up front, and you mentioned the bass. Now tell me what you're doing for subwoofers.
So the Sundown Audio Nightshade V3 15s, some of the best performance subs on the market. They're in one of our top enclosures, and very, very, very happy with the outcome.
How important is it for you to have quality sound instead of just loud?
It's very important. You know, at a certain level of sound, it's gonna kind of muddy it up. You're not gonna be able to tell, but if it's not clean, it's gonna be obvious. You're gonna know it. Quality's everything.
As a builder, you're doing this for customers. How important is it for you to make them happy and to give them the highest quality equipment from Sundown Audio?
We want to build the best of the best, and we use the best of the best.
All right, well, we're gonna check it out and jump inside and see how it sounds here. All right, Daniel, you promised me a life-changing experience, so how are we gonna test this?
All right, we're gonna test at 20 hertz. Should be somewhere in the range of 160 dBs.
All right, to help us out, BB and Lexi are here to do what they call a hair trick in the industry, and keep an eye on their hair, keep an eye on my face as we crank this thing up. Let's do it. Unreal. I've never experienced anything like that. That is unbelievable. And if you want to see what these folks can do for you at Sundown Audio, check them out at sundownaudio.com. You can be blown away just like I was. Oh, gosh. Dr. Pasha Rudenko has shown us how Tribotex works in really harsh environments, talking high temperatures, lots of high revs, and no place do we see that more than in a boat engine. You see the high revs, you see the high temperatures, and you see a lot of harsh conditions around. So how is Tribotex helpful in a boat engine?
Boats are closest to racing applications. They practically don't cruise. They are higher RPMs or idle at marina. So Tribotex, very good at protecting that higher RPM engines from extra wear and tear, and also it's high humidity environment. Water is everywhere. Tribotex does not turn into acids. It's ceramic, so it forms a film that is resistant to water and lasts for a very long time.
In a boat, how often are you replacing your Tribotex?
For most applications, it's once for a lifetime or for a few seasons. Depends how well it's stored. Sometimes boards get misted and it takes away film and protective coating or put anti-corrosive inhibitors that might interfere with it. But once a season is a perfect application.
There's a particular application you're looking at. It's with a jet boat.
Yes, we, on top of our unlimited hydroplanes, we have few new applications with the racing jet boats and sprint boats. And we had a case where the engine that couldn't perform to its build desired specs because it was breaking all the time, we was able to make it not just into running condition, but into winning championship that year in that league condition.
And that's just from Tribotex alone?
Yeah, that's just for Tribotex alone. Frankly, we did some tweaking to the formula, but for most people who drive boats for leisure, original is the best fit.
If it's good enough for a jet boat, it's good enough for military equipment, it's good enough for giant industrial applications, it's going to be good enough for your vehicle. Check out Tribotex at tribotex.com. We will return with more Motorhead Garage presented by NHOU Protective Coatings and more cool products right after this.
Motorhead Garage, presented by NHOU Protective Coatings, coming to you from Borla Commerce Park.
Motorhead Garage, presented by NHOU Protective Coatings, keeps rolling right along. If you're a truck owner, you know how useful a truck can be, but you also know it has some limitations and you need some accessories to make it really work for you. And the place to go for quality truck accessories, that's DZ. Now, Josh, tell me what your focus is at DZ when it comes to truck accessories.
Well, we've always wanted to add life to your truck. So we want to deliver a quality truck accessory that delivers the purpose that you need it for. If that's to get in this longer distance for our transfer tanks or our overland kit like you see here.
Well, we'll get to the specifics here, but tell me about the company. How long has DZ been at this?
So we've been in business since 1977. We're based in Des Moines, Iowa. We've got a little over 1,000 employees, over 200 open positions. So if you know anybody in the Midwest looking for a job, tell them to go to dz.com/careers. 1 million square foot of manufacturing and lots of manufacturing capabilities.
And how much of your stuff is actually made in the United States?
We try to make about 95%. There's some stuff that low-cost countries have to be, but fewer and fewer items these days with the cost of shipping and the cost of labor in low-cost countries going up. We're more and more competitive every day.
And regardless, the bottom line for you is quality. It even says so right in your motto there. How do you ensure that kind of quality?
Well, manufacturing things there in Des Moines, Iowa is really the first purpose or step. You know, we do a lot of OEM manufacturing as well, so all of our quality standards are based on the requirements for Chevy, Ford, Dodge, Honda, Acura, you name it OEM-wise, we'll build something for them.
How important is it for you to turn out a quality item to keep people happy?
It's the key, right? I mean, if you buy something, spend your hard earned, and it doesn't fill that purpose, you're not going to be happy, and we want you to be happy because we want you to come back. We got over 800 SKUs, so just because I sold you a step today doesn't mean I can't sell you a transfer tank tomorrow.
Now let's talk about the step here. This is a very cool looking deal. A lot of steps out there. How does yours stand apart from what we see with other steps?
Yeah, so on the Hex series here, we really we wanted innovative in multitude of ways. My wife at a 5'1" versus me at 6'2" have different step patterns getting in the same truck. So what we did is we designed a step where you can actually move that stepping surface infinitely along that extrusion. So it does a multitude of things. Jobbers or dealers have to stock fewer SKUs because we've got 3 that fit all mid-size and full-size trucks. You just choose the length and the bracket kit and you're good to go. And then you can tune that based on where the doors are or where the step pattern is, and even on opposite sides of each other.
It'll take you an afternoon to actually put the step on there, but once it's on, how easy is the adjustment?
Minutes. I mean, 8 bolts, slide it. You don't even have to take it off, you just slide it. Or if you're going off-road and you don't want to worry about that hoop sticking out there, slide it off. Put it back on.
Versatility is also important when it comes to your cab racks here, and that is really kind of the core of what you do. Tell me how those work.
Well, that's where it really started on our Hex Series products. So in 2007, we launched our cab rack line of products, and it was really just focused on that contractor and that utilitarian protect your cab, give you some versatility. We have slide tie downs for your ladders or your beacons to mount lights and stuff up there. But we've expanded that now into our whole Overland series of products. So you can choose the front cab rack with or without mesh, our rear, and then add our Overland side kit and top kit, which comes with your crossbar. And from there, you can see the sky's the limit. Because of the Hex series has so much versatility, your guys are going to come up with 1,000 things to do with it that we've never even thought of yet.
I've seen a lot of these Overland show trucks, got a lot of cool gear, but I'd never had that kind of money to dish out for a specialized piece of equipment. But this is versatile, and you don't just need to be an Overlander to use it, right?
Right. You know, we built a Chevy for last year's SEMA show that didn't, unfortunately, get to happen. But the theme of that truck was work ready, adventure ready. So Monday through Friday, the guys, the contractors, the plumbers, the electricians, they're using this to make a living. And then on Friday, you take your tools and all that equipment out, you add your adventure gear, your camping gear, your overland gear, whatever you want to call it, and you go on your adventure. And it's ready.
And what is that process like to remove one of those racks?
It's so simple. I mean, with the channels, it's just loosening bolts, removing things, and go.
How compatible is DZ's equipment with other products? Say I own these cans from another company. Yeah. Say I own these cans from another company. I've got other accessories I want to put on it. How compatible is that?
Well, you can see here on Chad's setup, there's probably 7 or 8 different companies' products integrated directly. You know, the CVT tent that you see on top, our universal crossbars bolt right onto it. So now Chad can have his tent and then put his kayaks on top of that. If there's a will, there's a way, and we give you the platform or the structure, and then you can go crazy with it.
Well, Chad Hoover is the owner of this truck, and he is a DZ man through and through. What do you love about DZ?
The thing that I love the most about DZ is that their products are quality, because if it's not going to stand up to the torture that I put it through, and I'm going to put it through some torture, it's not of any use to me. One of my favorite things about DZ is their willingness to experiment and their willingness to work on a product until they get it right. And one product that they just got right is the new tailgate board. Now, I got a custom version of it to go along with my truck theme, but the one that you'll get will do everything that you need it to, whether you're putting a gun together, working on a project, measuring a fish, cleaning a fish. It's basically an oversized cutting board work platform that attaches right to your tailgate.
How is it better than just going on top of a regular tailgate?
The reason it's better than just a standard tailgate, because if you got a bony butt like mine and you sit on a tailgate, it makes it comfortable. But you know as well as I do, you've dropped hardware on a tailgate and it's fell over. You've set a drink on one of those ridges but didn't get it just right and it fell over. So the thing about it is it's not only fashionable and it looks good and it's a conversation piece, it serves a whole bunch of purposes. In fact, every time I do a new project, I find another little thing that I like about that tailgate board.
Well, if you're looking for amazing and really versatile truck accessories, check them out at DZ, spelled like that, .com. We'll be right back with more Motorhead Garage presented by NHOU Protective Coatings, so do not touch that remote.
What happens to all the cars that wind up in accidents or finally just die? In the United States alone, about 12.6 million cars are recycled every year. Some cars are stripped for parts, others are worth more as scrap and head straight to the shredder. Just how much do auto salvage businesses in the U.S. make every year? A whopping $22 billion. Motorhead Garage coming up right after this. Motorhead Garage, presented by NHOU Protective Coatings, is brought to you by Borla, the world's most winning exhaust. Magic Creeper, the most versatile creeper ever. Rockford Fosgate, purpose-built audio. And by Tribotex, make your engine last longer. Time now for the lowdown with Magic Creeper.
You know, here at Motorhead Garage, if we're not doing something for the show, we're probably doing something on one of our own vehicles in our spare time. We've got every tool you could think of here. We've got the bandsaw, the drill press, the pipe bender, we've got the welder, and over here in the toolbox, just about everything you could imagine. But one of the tools we use more than any others, it's the Magic Creeper. And we use it for all kinds of things around the shop. If we want to get under a vehicle, of course, that's where the Magic Creeper shines. If we want to use it as a fender cover, a lot of times someone will come in with a fancy car that we don't want to scratch up, and we want to be very careful with that. Or on the opposite end of the spectrum, bring in something that we want to rebuild totally, and we don't want to get tetanus by leaning on that. So we use it as a fender cover to protect our clothes. And then, of course, to move some heavy objects, occasionally we'll pack up the entire crew and head off someplace. And we use the Magic Creeper as a bit of a conveyor belt to get stuff in and out of the back of one of our vehicles. When we take it out on the road, we have a production truck, and sometimes we need to run some cables, so we run the Magic Creeper under that truck. And if we get in trouble along the way, naturally, at the side of the road, the Magic Creeper is there for us. We've had a flat tire or two, and the Creeper has come in handy. And you know what? We've had a flat in the rain time or two as well. And so you have the Magic Creeper emergency kit. It gives you a raincoat. And the Magic Creeper is the thing that gets wet and dirty, and you do not. You're able to go along your way, and it will not ruin your day like it would otherwise. And once you're done slogging around in the mud with the Magic Creeper, well, the Creeper cleans up really easily. Just spray it with your favorite cleaner and give it a little scrub, and you are good to go. There are substitutes for the Magic Creeper, but accept none of them. The only real Magic Creeper can be found at MagicCreeper.com. It makes a great gift, and you're going to find it so useful, so go check it out. Over the past several weeks, we've seen products from the Lascoat, and we've seen some amazing demonstrations. Frankly, though, there's some other products out there that give a great impression on the first try. What sets the Lascoat apart from all those competitors?
Certainly. As a professional detailer, we wanted to hit durability, longevity, and ease of use with all of our products, right? You don't always get that with everything that's on the market. You're constantly trading one thing for another. So all of our products are designed in a laboratory, and then we take them out and do real-world testing with them until we know and are confident that the product is going to do what we want it to do and what we say it's going to do.
And, you know, how meticulous are you as a professional detailer? How important is that to you?
Very, very meticulous. My clients are very meticulous, so that makes me be even more meticulous.
You do the real-world testing, but you also rely on your customers as well. How so?
Yes, so when we're going to introduce a new product, we certainly have an idea of what we want to introduce, but we will also send out an email to our list and we will ask people what they want to see. So a lot of our products that we do have come from that list and what people want to see that we offer.
How hydrophobic is the last coat?
It is extremely hydrophobic. When you see it in action with water on top of it, you're going to have nothing but beads traveling, and you're going to get a nice sheeting action with the beading that will remove the water from the surface for you, as well as great self-cleaning characteristics.
I've seen a lot of companies roll out, 50 different bottles of all these different products, and I don't know what to do. What am I supposed to do?
Certainly, it's very confusing. We could make a lot more money by offering 10 different trim restorers, but that's not benefiting you. We want to make sure that you have a product that is going to work, do what we say, and easy for you to decide what you need for your vehicle.
And you can learn more about their products at thelastcoat.com/Motorhead, and also that's the place where you can find a special deal because you are a Motorhead Garage viewer. We have a whole new episode of Motorhead Garage coming your way next week. Be sure to tune in then. And in the meantime, if you can't get enough of us, check out our Facebook page. Tell us how we're doing, see what we're up to. And if you have a product you'd like to see on the show, email Jeff at masterstv.com. You can get your product here in the studio and show it to the world. From our entire crew here at our Borla Studios, we'll see you next time here on Motorhead Garage, presented by NHOU Protective Coatings.